Is there sound there or not yet?
Not on the video currently, but hopefully there will be
Not
by the time we launch.
Are you
All right.
Now, I guess the first thing to do is go and set up your team.
Sure. All right. So complete my team.
Yeah.
Add a team. I'm gonna import CC United. I don't know if CC Star God will be a repeat performance or not.
If anything doesn't make sense to you, or if it does make sense to you, like great to kind of just talk us through kind of what you're thinking at each
Yeah,
point.
sure. So I'm reading it right now, so I don't really have any active thoughts. At the
Yeah.
moment, I'm just sort of looking at what you guys have for your examples for the midfielders to see what kind of offensive defense balance, but it's just me reading things through. All right, don't have a problem. Get sense to build a team, get ready to play. All right. Okay. So I'll just do this the way I would do it, right?
Mhm.
So the way that I would do it is basically I'm planning on having a couple different teams, and we can change the names of the teams, right? So for
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have a bunch of teams that maybe don't have a full squad of MPLs. So the first thing I would do is just roll all of my synths to see how I do,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, if that's okay, to see what happens. And then if I get like one team that has like a bunch of excellent synths, then I might use that one with one. So see how my roll was. I like this though. That was so much easier just to click it and you just get it. Like last time it
Nice.
felt like you had like a whole thing. That was cool how it just populated it. But now that I've created these, can I like delete them and load my guys?
Have a play around. See
Okay,
if
let's
what
see.
you
So
think.
let me see if I can figure it out. So I got one solid, but nothing excellent. So I think I'm gonna try to cancel these guys. Let's see how I can do that. I'm gonna put you guys down so I don't. Let's see. All right. No, I don't want to do that. So my bench. Um, so I hit bench. Oh, I have to go down. All right. And I've got a bench full of sense too. All right. And then how do I think that I can get these guys out of here?
I sort of like
There
Tane, you found them. You found your players.
I found my players. Yeah. And so the one thing I'm noticing, so did you guys turn around and return all of the loan players or no? That we
Nope,
had?
they should
Was
all be
that
there. So
the
Jan
ones that
yesterday
I
still
loaned
had.
out or the ones that
We haven't touched the loan. So Jan yesterday, for example, still had the godlikes that have been loaned to him for the cup.
okay, cool. All right. All right. So then I'm gonna just start building my team. I don't have any sense that I would keep here, but that was just an example. I would do that kind of no matter
Yeah.
what. So before I go ahead and start loading people, I'm gonna see what the formation options are, um, to try to remember what I was kind of doing before in the old one and see what the positions were. So you've got CF, and you've got center forward, left center forward. Okay. Very nice. All right, so I'm gonna go with a 3-5-2. I remember using that and enjoying it. Um, and I will start to. All right, let me start to put people in here. I lost it again. There we go. All right. So let's say I want this lady, and then I select the position. Oh, because she doesn't have the stats yet, so I can't put her in because I don't have attributes. So when you load the synths, let me go back over here. So when I loaded my synths,
Hmm.
I let me see, how do I get him? So it automatically rolled their stats too. So I would have to. So
Hmm.
here's a question. It says unlock reroll. So to reroll since
Yep.
it would cost readies.
I think that's a quirk of the environment at the moment. We might need to come back to you on that one.
Okay.
TBC on synths, but for your MPLs, you'll be able to customize them yourself first. Keep tweaking until you're happy. Once you save them, they're then locked until the
Okay.
next customization window. And we're thinking those customization windows will be every couple of weeks during head-to-heads, maybe a bit less frequent once we get into more structured tournaments and leagues.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Um, so then you can just defense, you can try again as many times as you want. I've got a legendary human. She's got 5, so um okay, so it's kind of moving it around a little bit. All right, so let's say, and I can't mess with these now, right? It has to be a roll.
It has to be a roll.
Okay. So you just keep going. I'm not going to sit here forever, but this is probably going to take me about, I would assume, anywhere from 6 to 10 hours to roll all my players to match what I'm looking for. But okay. All right, I think that's good. So I hit save. All right, this is a test environment, so it doesn't count. And all right, so then now because I did that, now it's customized and it's available, and I can move into my center back. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so now I need to figure out what I want to do here. And all right, let me just set that. I'll just go through. I'll get my
Or maybe I'll
godlike.
give you a minute.
Yeah.
I'll give you a minute, Satane, to keep playing around now that you've got the hang of it. How are you doing, Satane?
I'm doing good. I got my 2 forwards in, and I'm re-rolling midfielders, but I haven't been able to get any good passing. That's kind of, I'll eventually just accept it, but there's a decent passing, so I'll save that.
How are you judging whether it was decent passing?
I'm accepting your green. I'll do some math later, but I'm accepting that your green,
Mhm.
turning it green is at least acceptable for my purposes for this.
Yeah. Probably a little bit misleading at the moment because we still need to update that with the final numbers. But yeah,
Probably.
good to understand that that's what you're using as an indicator.
Yeah, eventually I'm gonna start. Um, I'll have to figure it out, but yeah. How do I get them in there? There we go. All right. And now I think, yeah, I noticed that when I was doing the center forward role for my guy with the ferret, I was getting some pretty solid wing stats. So I might put a forward. I might try to put some like a forward in at midfield, basically forward rolled statistics in at midfield,
Mhm.
and see if I can roll and get like a low finishing, but some better stuff because the wing play was higher. At least for this role, it seemed like I was getting an average of a higher wing play when I was rolling forward than I was
Yeah.
rolling midfield.
So the training there, you're saying that the training for a forward actually suited more the kind of player that you wanted to play in midfield on the wings.
There were a couple roles where that was the case, yeah. But now, of course,
Mhm.
that I'm trying now, I'm just getting huge finishing. But my first 2 roles with the my legendary forward, I had like low 20s, high teens finishing, and it had like some bonus stuff, like kind of like this. I'll go with this for this one because I think wing
Mhm.
play is fine. I'm struggling as I do this to get a mixture that I might personally choose.
Mhm.
And so maybe that's probably the point. Like I would go with 0 on some stuff in order to maximize other things, but we'll see how this goes.
So you preferred the mechanic in the cup where you had total control over the distribution of skill attribute points.
I would say the building experience was maybe more it felt like I had more control, which made it more fun. But I think that there's certainly the possibility that this is better for overall game balance and everything. But um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to take more time or less time because I tinkered a lot for the cup, and
Yeah.
but yeah, see, I'm struggling to get. It's like I want a guy that can has good wing play because he's all the way over here. But are you guys?
Mhm.
Is kind of the top, like the top to the bottom? Is that accurate now that you've added left CM and right CM? Like they're actually going to play on the right side in the
Yep.
engine, or is that not really?
Yeah, position
That
in
is
the engine is now meaningful. So previously it was like a block of midfielders.
yeah.
Now your left midfield will impact the left-hand side of the pitch. The right midfield will impact the right-hand side of the pitch. So
Got
position
you.
is now more meaningful than it was in Cup.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a little frustrating that I don't seem to be able to get any kind of high wing play stat
Mhm.
easily as a midfielder because that's where they're going to be the furthest outside. I'm getting lot of sub tens when I'm rolling.
Would there be would there be something within this way of generating stats that would make it easier for you to create the type of player that you want to?
Um, if there's is that a question again? Sorry.
So it sounds like you're trying to create basically somebody who has good wing play,
Yeah.
without moving away from this kind of rolling mechanic. Are there a set of options that you think might help you create the type of player that you're after more easily?
Yeah, if there was like an example could be um if it was like two drop downs and it's like midfielder and then choose a priority statistic, something like that, where I could choose
Mhm.
like, all right, for this one I want stamina to be like number one. So then it's still rolled and the rest of it is kind of random, but at least I can be like, all right, this is my player that's going to be kind of my wing expert. And I don't have to
Mhm.
roll and roll and roll till I essentially get that anyway eventually.
Mhm.
That would be really nice. Or if you it had like this is top priority, this is second priority. That would
Yeah.
also be really nice because it's something that I theoretically will still be able to accomplish with enough rolls, but it would save me a lot of time.
Mm.
And are you typically optimizing for like one key skill attribute for a player, or are you trying to combine like two or three skills to create like a player archetype of your kind of
Um,
imagining?
so it's a little bit different now because we have the left and the right and the wing play. I
Hmm.
should say that one. My bad. But but basically the way that I would do it in the cup is I felt like the engine would there were moments, right? And the way that you guys talked about it, it's I'll say that one. So there's like these moments, and in the moments, players need large stats, and but also it felt like the general way that the midfield was working was it was kind of a additive across all your players. So you wanted to have the way I was doing is I wanted to have more defense on my midfield than they had passing because I felt like that would give me an advantage. But I also wanted certain players that were dominant in one stat so that if the engine happened to be like it came down to like a one-on-one scenario, that I might win those more often than not if the engine kind of defaulted to, well, the top passing guy has the ball right now. It was just my that's how like my
Yeah,
that was my
got it.
assumptions I was making. And
That's
so
super,
like for
super
this, so
helpful.
pardon me.
I was just saying, yeah, that's super helpful. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. And so like if you noticed in the finals, we had that synth team that went all the way up against me in the finals. And it seemed to me that the reason he got in the finals is because every single player on his team, except for one, was maxed out for defense. And so I was like, all right, that's why he's beating these godlike legendary teams. I need to figure out a way to counter that. So my way to
Mhm.
counter that was to make sure I put all my defenders up into the midfield. I put all my defenders into the thing because I needed more defense in his passing. And then I did everything I could to also match my passing to his defense. And so that was kind of it's that kind of being able to react. So when I'm building my team, I want to make sure that I have enough flexibility where I can go really strong defense, really strong passing in the midfield in order to try to win that battle.
Got it. I mean, it made for a very exciting final, and super interesting hearing you talk through the strategy there.
Yeah, it was something else.
Um,
All right, I'm done with squad creation, so I would click on to strategy, and
nice.
then I'll just go with my old faithful. I'll add attack. I like total football, of course. You can see me doing this, so maybe I'll change it. And
I know.
then
I was looking at your window, thinking, well, how am I going to tweak mine?
tight marking. And then let me just go back to squad real quick, and I'm going to make my godlike captain. Give him corners, give him free throws, give him penalties, free kicks, and penalties. Okay. Then I guess save,
Cool.
right? Or is it automatically save this?
Those things will also save, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oliver, can I just check that you also find set piece takers when you were doing that? Did you find that easy to do?
No, I didn't notice that. If I'm honest. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Set piece. So like free kicks, corners, all that jazz. Sorry. Yes, I did. But that was all. That was pretty obvious, actually. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
The one thing that neither of you have tried to do, I don't think, and I'm not suggesting we should do it now, but was name your players.
Oh,
No,
I did
I
look
haven't
at
tried
that.
to do that.
I saw that you had the thing here, so I was going to make a comment about not bringing the. It would have been nice to bring the names in
Yeah.
from the last
We
one.
just we know that lots of players will have changed hands, and this is the first time the game's going to be evergreen and persistent. So you can see all your player names if you go to the cup statue on the map if you need to refresh your memory. But yeah, we haven't pulled them across.
Okay. All right, I'm good to go.
Oliver,
Yes.
do you fancy trying to send a challenge to Certain?
Yeah. Sure
I
thing.
think your team is CP United, isn't it, Certain?
Yeah, I'm CC United.
CC United. Is it just letter C, space United?
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. Challenge. It's going to be an absolute car crash. Let's see how we get on. Okay. Next.
My challenges, I would assume, no challenges. Received. There it is. Red Planet Rovers.
Cool.
So how do I accept the readies? Maybe it'll give me the opportunity to do that. Oh no.
Oh, Alex. Oh, you've gone into the match.
I
Just
hit the ready
for
button.
me, Certain.
Okay.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. So I will grab
Yeah,
that
I
as a
hit
bug.
this little 10 over here. Sent me into the match.
Yeah.
All right. So I would then
For what it's worth, it's the same on my screen as well. It's the same on my screen. That whole top bar is clickable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll make a note of that and work out when you should be able to click that. I'll give that some thought.
All right,
Awesome.
accept. I'm assuming the default strategy is what I already set.
Yes. So what you set so far is your default strategy. When you play in a head-to-head, you can obviously choose to send a custom strategy for this particular game. You know, you might, to your point around One FC, you might know a bit more about them and want to customize it for that particular match, but you can just go straight for your default if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to look to see what it looks like. All right. So you do lineup. Can you see like the opponent's most recent lineup?
So there is an opponent overview. I don't think it's been deployed to this environment, so I don't know if you can have a look at it today, but there is an opponent overview quite similar to what we had in the cup that would show like the last lineup that they played, their performance over the last 5 games, and you'd also be able to dig into their player performance stats. So yes, you would have been able to do all of that if you wanted before accepting the challenge.
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1, click.
All right. Clicked it. Okay, I got stuck behind this.
There's the modal that should have showed up before. If you click Certain, will that go away? If you just
I
click,
just clicked away from it and it went in. So we've got kickoff now.
Yeah.
Cool. And I've got possession. Oh, that's cool. I like that animation.
Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, looks like we got a turnover. Oh, free kick. That's cool. Oh, man, we got to try
I
to
do
go to
love
the
all the
left.
artwork. It's so nice.
So Tane, what's the average skill level of your team? I didn't see as you were setting it up.
It's what I got, one godlike, 4 or 5 legendaries, and the rest are outstandings.
Okay, Oliver, you've got your work cut out for you.
I mean, it's not going to happen, is it? But
I mean, we can't get the ball in the net, so we'll see. Oh,
Oh
wow,
dear.
that was close. What are the circles or shots or what? Oh, wait, you don't have to answer that because I should be,
Yeah.
I guess.
so in the white paper, you have synths, but then I'd be good to understand because obviously you have the kind of MPL players themselves. You have synths, but there was also this is going from memory because it's been a couple of months since I last went through it. Was there not was there the ability to so the original MPL players, they're permanent Genesis players, but was there also
Right.
another type of player that was going to be included at some point?
Yeah, I think we'd laid out some of the future plans for recruitment beyond the Genesis collection.
Yeah.
That's a little way out, but yeah, it was
Okay.
it's in the tokenomics paper that we published.
Yeah.
Oh, when I click on it, it stops. I think I'm a little bit behind. Maybe. Yeah, well, your keeper's doing well.
You just scored.
Oh, okay. I'm behind because it stopped the clock every time
Oh,
I
okay, I
click
see.
into the circles. So I'm only at 23 minutes.
Did you work out what the circles were, Satine?
Yeah, they're goals taken, free kicks, and then free kicks at goal, I would guess, is the white with the yellow circle. But it stopped the clock, so I don't know. I'm probably 10 minutes behind.
I mean, the only area I am winning in currently is fouls.
Oh, a goal from deep. There we go. All right.
So Satine, I saw you clicking into the individual dots.
Yeah.
Did you find any other way to tell you what these things on the pitch might be?
Yeah, the legend up here.
Okay, cool.
Chance.
Where are you seeing this
The
legend?
human
Sorry.
teammate.
Sorry,
Up in the
Oliver.
top right corner of the pitch.
Oh, I
says
see. I
legend.
see. I didn't find that very obvious, actually.
I missed my second goal. I don't know what that happened. I can go to key events though.
My keeper's pretty good, you know.
He's doing real well. Yeah, the
Yeah.
keeper's doing phenomenal.
I mean, all things considered, when I'm looking at this when I'm looking at this board, it's fairly one-sided.
I mean, I'm not seeing an event in your own half
I'd like
yet.
to see this. That's true. I probably should have put some solids in there just to be fair, but I'd love to
it's
see
fine,
the
it's fine.
animation where the ball is saved. I'd love to see an animation of the ball going in once. I don't know if maybe I just haven't seen it yet, but it's just been kind of like pictures from what I see when they score.
And then there's furiously taking notes. Is logging the request for more animation.
Yeah, see, like I just got another save.
The ambition is to get more
The
variety
what?
in. We'd love to build more variety in there
Yeah,
for that.
it'd be cool to get more animation.
Maybe do some seasonal ones and stuff as well. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be great. See them all running
that'd
around
be
with
really
little hats on at Christmas.
Yeah, the joy that I felt the first time I saw the keeper dive to the left to block my ball is somewhat, it dissipates as it's the only one I've seen, but it's really cool.
It takes me back to the penalty shootout in boot camp.
Yeah, it does.
It's a shame. I joined just after boot camp had wrapped, so I didn't get to see that,
Ah,
unfortunately.
you missed it. It was fun. It was
Yeah,
fun, the mini games. Love to bring
yeah. I
some
mean,
of those bits back.
it looked great. I mean, that's what drew me in, basically.
Mm.
Come on, I've got to get one attempt at some point in this. One.
It doesn't look like
Should
you're making it through the midfield.
no, he
No.
made it through. He made it through once or twice, but I think that the strong, the two defenders that I put in my midfield are probably. I probably shouldn't have taken it quite as seriously.
I mean, to be honest, I think you definitely should be taking that seriously. It's the way to do it.
I think you just had a shot,
I did have a shot.
and they gave you a wait, what?
It's-
See Fowler MP. Okay, the foul. So I fouled you, but I guess you got a free kick. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's
So
something. Take it.
yeah, that's one shot. But I mean,
I mean, if Brighton West Ham at the weekend tells me anything, possession isn't all about possession. It certainly isn't all about shots taken.
your keeper is probably on his way to being one of the best save rates in the game.
I think it's all I've got going for me right now.
Well, there's got a third goal. In the
So Certain, oh, sorry, go for it.
I was just gonna say on the minute by minute key events, it says I can see who got a yellow card, but I can't see who scored the goal. I'd love it if it said goal
Yeah.
scored by MPL number XXX.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So the minute by minute copy is it's just still got some gaps that we're just plugging copy into slowly. So
Okay,
we'll
cool.
have some copy in for launch. Like you can see some of them have that detail underneath, and some of them are just the title at the moment. We're just still adding some bits.
Cool.
Certain, I remember you saying post the cup that the one metric that you followed throughout every game was turnovers because it was the way that you worked out who had possession at any given point in time.
Yeah,
How's this doing as a improvement
I like it. I like
on
it a
that?
lot better. Being able to find out. I know where the ball is on the pitch. I know who has it. I think that's a massive improvement. I really like that.
Awesome.
I think it's really good. So, um, I can see that being frustrating. Like if I was in Oliver's position right now, just not seeing my name a lot. If I was playing up against like a full godlike team, but that's fine. You know, is what it is. That's
Are
the
you
nature of the game.
well, I think at the moment the minute by minute is quite goal chance oriented, free kicks,
Yeah.
offsides. You know, that's the stuff that we've seen
Mhm.
here. Are you interested in seeing more about what's happening in the game, or is this the right level of detail? Like, what would you want to know if there's anything missing?
Do you know what I'd quite like to see is how exhausted, like presumably there's there's energy drain and all that kind of stuff. I'd like to get
Mhm.
some commentary on the players themselves, like
Yep.
because we talk about stamina as part of the build out on the team and all the rest of it, but it's not really reflected here. So it'd be
Mhm.
quite nice to get an idea of, okay, look, the key events are like the minute by minute events are fantastic, and that adds a really nice element to it. But I definitely think something outside of just offside,
Mhm.
free kicks, goals, whatever. You know,
Yep.
players really starting to slow down, or you can really see the energies coming out now. Whatever it is, but something slightly softer like that might be quite a nice addition.
Yep.
Yeah, that would
So
be
I've got
nice.
three things to respond to on that. But Certain, before I do that, you go.
No, I think that's a really good idea. It'd be great if you had like a player performance tab up here that I could click in and it would
Mhm.
show. I mean, stamina would be really cool, but it could also show like turnovers, like possession minutes, chances, like assists or whatever. I don't know all the stats that they keep, but like it would be
Yeah.
really cool to see that building up as it goes, so I can see who's doing well in each match, or to have it after the match. Right? Maybe that's what the
Yeah.
gaffer vision, right?
Uh,
But yeah, I think
Yep.
that would be really cool. And on the side, minute by minute, yeah, all the turnovers, anything cool that happens in the match, I think it'd be great. I'd love to see a meteor strike or the Martians rush the pitch, whatever it is.
mhm.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So
So at the end here, the wager is 0.
yeah,
So
I was going to comment on that.
yeah.
I think Certain must have not accepted the 10 and put it back down to 0, or it's a
Oh,
bug. One of the
I don't
two.
blame you. It was a risky game, that one. Yeah.
I thought I didn't touch anything. I just hit accept. So
Okay.
I don't think that I put it back down.
That might be a bug then. So assuming Certain was up for wagering up to the 10, the way that it works, Oliver, is you can wager, let's say you wagered 100. Certain could say, okay, yes, I want to play, but actually I don't want to wager 100, I want to wager 10. So when he submits 10, the wager will only go to a max of 10.
Can he up
So
it?
it will wager
Like a
up
game of
to,
poker?
he can't up it. He can't up it.
Okay.
Because otherwise that would mean that you guys would have to go back and forth before the game was locked in,
Yeah,
and you
okay.
might miss out on the game happening.
Yeah.
But they can choose to wager any amount up to the limit that you have set. So the game will go ahead. If you'd wagered 100 and Certain said, actually, I only fancy 10 readies, the game would go ahead for 10 readies. But it should have gone for 10 by the sounds of it on this one. But Certain, to your point of the player performance table,
Mhm.
when we launch next week, there will be one here. So you'll be able to
Oh, cool.
see a player by player breakdown of the stats. I can flash that up quickly to show you what it looks like in a second.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed turnovers is
Oliver,
on the stats page.
it's not currently in the match stats, but I think that might need updating. So then, Oliver, we were talking about fatigue as well. One idea that we've had, and it might not make it in for launch next week, but is one idea that we're working on at the moment, is whether we give you a halftime and end of game snapshot of fatigue across the team.
Mhm.
So you have a bit of a sense of how much the team are tiring. So that's something that we're looking at the moment. And I can't remember what my third thing was, but I did have a third thing, and now it's eluded me. But Certain's dived into the leaderboards.
Sorry.
I don't want to look at that. So if you do include the fatigue, it would be quite nice to be able to sub people in and out. So if I could see that there's a particular player that's really flagging, and I've got some people on the bench that, if you are going to do it at a half time, maybe that's a nice opportunity to sub someone in.
Yes, assuming that both of you are online at exactly the time that the match is happening.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, makes
so
sense.
Yeah.
The thing that we haven't invested in making changes to, we haven't invested in giving managers the tools to make changes during the game, because we're still working out exactly what percentage are going to rock up at 3 p.m. EST every day.
Yeah.
What percentage are going to watch it after the fact. But there are some things that we could do. So for example, you could imagine setting team instructions up front, being like, I want to sub this player in at half time, or I want to sub this player in these certain scenarios. Maybe I go down to 10 men, or I'm more than 2 goals behind, something like that. So I think the most likely way that we would do it is that kind of more evolved match instructions, kind of team sheet.
Makes sense. I love it though. It's great. It's really, I'm really enjoying it.
So players, Certain. If you just click into the players one.
I was waiting until
it's so we'll pull in a version of this into the match. So at the moment, this leaderboard will show for all players across all games that they've played in. But what we'll do is pull in a version of this leaderboard into the match so that you can see the stats specifically for that game. So you'll be able to see trends over time, but you'll also be able to see the stats for the specific game that you just played.
Oh, that's great. I noticed no stats have been loaded yet, except for this.
No, the teams one is ready. I think that should be populating fine. We're still just working on the players and the managers ones.
There you go, Pat. Was it pass? Passes. This one's penalties scored. Okay. That's weird. Oh, okay, so it's just passes for, I guess, his team loaded. All right, so it's a work. Just got it. Stop it.
And you've got stats there for attacking player stats, and then you can also flip it to a defensive view of that screen as well.
Okay. That's cool.
So number 25 of 445, is 445 the number of total built out teams currently?
No, that's hard coded at the moment, so that will be
Okay.
dynamic once we launch.
Got you. And that's my position in the table, is it? Yeah.
In the leaderboard, yeah.
Yeah. It's quite funny. My gaff rating is the same as the year I was born. That's weird.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
So you guys today have sent each other a challenge directly. As soon as you accepted that match was locked in. Obviously, it then wouldn't run until 3 p.m. EST. But the other way that you could play a head-to-head in any given day is putting your team into the mix and letting the system match you up with a team of a similar skill. So they're the kind of two routes to play head-to-heads. I'm conscious that we are a couple of minutes over time, and for some of it might be start of your day and you might need to get going. But if you guys have got any other thoughts, feedback, questions, shout up.
Just for the feedback, I think it feels like a much more rounded product. Certainly more intuitive, and some of the feedback that I gave just in terms of UX and being able to find my way around feels like you guys are taking it on board, and I'm sure you had the same feedback from others as well. I like this sidebar that you've introduced. It makes it certainly like a lot more intuitive and easier to navigate and find my way around. It's challenging to say. I think for me, the and it's especially evident, from what the game we've just played. I'm really keen to see how the matching process goes. The ability to be matched with teams with similar levels of attributes. That was, I think, for me on the cup, the group that I was included in. There wasn't really much opportunity to do an awful lot in there. The other teams, for the most part, were just had significantly more investment than I put into mine, basically. So I like the concept and I want to play it, but if I'm going to get beaten every single time, then it's going to get boring.
Yeah.
So getting that right, I think for me is really crucial.
Well, I think for head-to-heads launch, that kind of put your team in the mix, let the system match you up. That will do it based on your kind of overall team skill level. So we'll try and pitch you against a quite evenly matched opponent.
Yeah.
Over time, as people's gaff ratings start to level out, then gaff rating will become a good indicator of similar quality teams. But that won't be true for day one. And so head-to-heads is going to be quite interesting in seeing whether by the time tournaments and leagues come around, has gaff stabilized enough that we can be like, okay, this tournament and league is for teams between this gaff rating and this gaff rating, which means that you'll have a competitive tournament of similarly rated teams. So that's something for us to keep an eye on over the course of the next few weeks, see how quickly that stabilizes. But we're kind of laser focused on making sure it feels fun for everyone that plays. You want it to feel competitive, but you don't want to feel like you've not got a chance, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's it from my side. I think it looks great. I'm really excited to see it all roll out. Basically, it's really exciting.
Awesome. Well, huge thank you for giving over an hour of your day. This is invaluable for us. Enables us to do some last minute usability tweaking. Helps us catch bugs. Great to kind of get an early look at the reaction to the product. So really appreciate you guys hopping on today. And obviously, once we launch next week, and you'll have many more hours to customize your team and start playing games. Just if there's anything else that comes out of the woodwork, any other thoughts that you've got, then send them our way. It's invaluable to, like I said, have you guys raising stuff with us directly versus kind of guessing at what people want.
Well, thank you. Nice to be part of it.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
We're really
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks,
I thought it looked
everyone.
great.
Um,
Have a great day.
see you on the pitch next week.
Cheers. See you then.
Be out there.
Thanks.